What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. After Sound here, bringing you Splinterlands content every single day. We also stream right here on this channel as well as on Twitch, so make sure you come by and say hello. This video is also brought to you by my music, which is available anywhere you stream music under the name After Sound. And I do have a new song out recently called Dreamin', so check it out. Let me know what you think, and I appreciate the support. Okay, guys, I thought it'd be worth doing a little bit of a DEC health check here, just because we haven't really checked on it in a while. So let's cover a couple things. Obviously, we are only at 77% of where the intended peg price is supposed to be. It should be $1 per thousand, right? We're at 77 cents only. So we're still down significantly, although it's kind of decoupled from SPS. These used to kind of be at a rate of like where SPS to DEC was like 10. So obviously it's changed quite a bit and SPS is lagging behind, which is no surprise. We're still working through a significant DEC overhang from, well, really from, if you think about it, all the way back in 2021 with the SPS airdrop. But then we got into a better place. Then it was compounded by the fact that with the changes the team made, especially like Gladiator cards, for example, Gladiator cards and then reward cards, all this stuff can still be burned, but we're still working through all that. So just a quick refresher there. So as you can see, though, and we'll look here both at the chart as well as the distribution, the amount for players has gone up significantly, right? We were flirting at about $1 billion before. It looks like 63 million has been added on top of that. So players are starting to hoard more. And the question has become, well, it's not become, it's always been this, right? How much of it is players that are trying to trade this because they know that the team is now in a position where the team has to start buying DEC, and we'll get to that in a minute, right? The company is only sitting on 44 million, and so therefore they're trying to arbitrage the opportunity versus how much are people holding on for Conclave Arcana. The more or the closer that we get to Conclave Arcana's launch, which, you know, I would say we're within 2 months of that, hopefully now, the more I think that people are starting to hoard for Conclave Arcana and looking at this and saying, well, hey, packs are like 25% off, right? So, or actually more than, no, yeah, 25-ish% off. So, so what I'm trying to get at here is we're probably going to see players accumulate more. Sure, this is going to fluctuate, but again, we're seeing it significantly higher than like in the 900 million range or the 1 billion range. I mean, this is up 6%, right, from where it was previously. As you can tell here with the chart, you know, it's been interesting to see DEC keeps getting minted, then burned, minted, then burned, minted, and burned. It's not at the same kind of amplitude and dips that we were seeing before, so not that same kind of volatility. And I don't even know what this is. I think it might be more of like a reporting issue. So I don't even know how much we can trust all of these numbers, right? Especially because shout out to Splinter Cars for providing this, but you know, they put the disclaimer: some information on the site contains missing or correct data. I apologize for the inconvenience, and we'll fix it soon. But appreciate all you do, T-Hawks and the Splinter Cars team. So we're sitting at like 5.4 billion right now, but keep in mind, so much of that, right, 42% of that is in the DAO. Another 27% of that is in land, right? So that's more than half of like all the DEC. So I'm not even worried about like the total supply now because the DAO is going to keep stacking, and hopefully land, especially with 1.75 coming out soon, will continue growing, right? But we haven't really seen it move from like 1.485 billion. So the fact that the company is now buying DEC regularly, and it looks like if we're still at the same rate of the company, you know, in terms of like credits coming in being at about 40 million per week, right? And they buy once they get under like 30-ish million, right? We should start to see more buys happening regularly. And if they're buying 40 million per week, again, that's a significant amount. The market in pools is sitting at 252 million. Now, what ends up happening is we've seen this go as high as, like 300 million, right? Where when the team buys, it drops from 300 million to roughly 250 million. But then we see that start to go up over time because players are selling into that strength in DEC. But we're not really seeing that now. And I think part of the reason for that is because of the fact that Bitcoin has dipped quite a bit, right? So you can see Bitcoin's at 82,000 as of the time of this recording. And there's a lot of, just uncertainty overall. But we are seeing strength in other areas of the Splinterlands ecosystem, right? Cards have been on the rise. They're becoming a little bit more scarce. Even Chaos Legion, right? I talked about that in a previous video. You can see vouchers are going up as well, which is cool. So it's interesting to see how all of this stuff is dynamically playing out. But ultimately, what do we all care about? Or at least for me, and I think what's the most important, we want to see SPS go up, right? We want to see SPS go up, and the only way that we can do that is by getting rid of DEC and forcing people, whether it's the team or players, to burn SPS for that DEC. So still quite a ways to go, in my opinion, but Conclave Arcana is going to be the big test, right? That could be the huge, it will be a huge catalyst in some ways. And I would say this, the enthusiasm around survival mode right now gives me a lot of bullish hope for Conclave Arcana. And the fact that land 1.75 is on its way now, and people still feel like even with Bitcoin, dipping this much, we're in like a bull market-ish, right? It just might be extended or whatever the case is. There's crypto-friendly policies now coming from the U.S. government and, governments around the world. So there is like, it's not, yes, people might be tentative, but with this next set coming out, I do think you're going to see a lot of strong sales. Will it be the same as Rebellion, like how we sold out, or almost sold out the pre-sale? I don't know. That is my expectation, although I think it's gonna be significantly more this time around in terms of like overall DEC value that needs to come in. But there's a lot of people spending a ton of money on cards and packs and SPS recently to take advantage of survival mode, right? People are excited about that and they're trying to get into it. And with land 1.75, that's going to jumpstart the economy as well, at least around land, right? And should make things more interesting, should increase the amount of DEC getting burned passively. So that'll be fantastic for us as a whole. And then, Conclave Arcana is going to be, it's going to be a huge, huge thing. If the pre-sale does sell out, keep in mind that that's 4.4 billion DEC that would need to be, that there would be demand for. And if the DAO's getting half of that, that's 2.2 billion of that just completely getting locked away. So as it stands right now, when you look at how much is currently like liquid, and what I'm gonna call liquid is how much the players are holding, how much is in market and pools, and how much is the company holding. That's not even 1.5 billion, right? So we're talking about a 4.4 billion demand if it sells out, as well as 2.2 billion getting locked up. So the DEC is going to have to come from somewhere. Now, before it comes from SPS, I do think we'll probably still see a lot of cards getting burned, especially those old Chaos Legion reward cards. But with survival mode being more effective, I think people are going to go in and start scooping up some of those cards on the cheap, which gives less incentive for bot farms or whoever's holding massive amounts of those cards, right, like whales, to burn those cards for DEC. And maybe that'll be something that I check in another video, right? Like, how are the burn values doing compared to, how many cards are trading below burn value, for example. But it should be an interesting thing over the next couple of weeks and months here. So that's all I have for you guys. Just want to kind of dig into where the numbers are at now. Obviously, we're in hopefully what is an exciting time with one of 3 major launches being done, the next major launch being scheduled, right? So what I'm saying by that is survival mode is out, land 1.75 should be out within a week, and then Conclave Arcana is going to be the next major thing from there. And then we'll see what the rest of 2025 brings. But at least once those 3 things are done, the DEC demand, the DEC burn rate, right, the passive burn rate or daily burn rate, like all this stuff should start to make a huge, you know what, let me pull that back, a significant impact in the game economy. And whether that leads to the flywheel action or not, we'll have to wait and see, but a lot of this stuff is really building momentum in a positive way. So that is all I have for you guys in this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Otherwise, I'll catch you all in the next one and see you around the game. Take care.